Another day where I feel like streaming. So it's gonna be a short stream. We continue. Alright. I remember these controls. Oh, it seems they all end in the same move. But if you push strong attack early, you can end it early with like one of those ground slam combos. Let's see, left to deflect. How do I heal again? Graphics, gameplay controls. Heal X. It must not be working because I have full health. But I'm not gonna be able to stream so well on today, like to as many people as usual, sadly. Which is a problem because I wanted to tell Julie something. Man, he's taking a lot more hits than I thought he would. But yeah, so that's unfortunate. I'm just gonna have to deal with that. I was gonna watch Avatar Fire and Ash today, but by the time I was ready, it was gonna be too late for me to go to the movies and for them to prepare the food that I was gonna order on time. I was gonna order, like, I don't know what exactly, but maybe a hot dog. Oh. Is it making a sound? Oh, it means I ran out of stamina. Okay, that's what it means. I don't know why it's a shield and 3 claws. Maybe it means I can't guard? So yeah, that was a bit of a problem. In the end, I just decided to stay home and watch Jurassic Park. Okay. So it's a low stamina thing. Okay, I see. In the end, I just decided to stay home and watch Jurassic Park. Since I ordered those online anyway. Which way should I go? I don't like having the road fork like this. For some reason I'm not quite in the right mindset to talk about Jurassic Park. I That looks like a boss. And he's coming over here. Well, it might be a boss, I don't know. Might just be one of those hammer guys. Right, they can block. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to be careful. I said careful! Yeah, I'm out of my game. So it's deflecting. Okay, that did not go well. Now where does this go? Oh, secret. Rest well. Yeah, for some reason my brain needs to wake up and get into the chatting mode. I guess because I'm starting a bit more abruptly and without planning like I normally do. I liked Jurassic Park a lot. I mean, who didn't like it as a kid? Because it's just a really good movie, but having gone back to watch it now, I think it still aged pretty well. It hits just as hard as it used to. Well, maybe not as hard, but it's still as iconic as it used to be. But it had me thinking. I remember looking through some dinosaur movies. Well, that is not what I pushed. Oh no, wait, I think I might have pushed that by accident. And a lot of them looked like they were kind of slappa movies. And for some reason, maybe I'm just kind of out of it too much, but it feels like dinosaur movies never seem to make much of an impact. People don't seem to notice and talk about it, or at least word of it never reaches me. It could just be that I'm oblivious. That I just don't watch a lot of... because I only watch so many movies. But... But it's something I think about I thought about, and I think it's maybe just because... Partially because some of the movies are just slappa. Hollywood doesn't want to make good dinosaur movies, and not as many know how to make good dinosaur movies. And so now it might be the way things might be is that it's like that line in Jurassic World Rebirth where people just don't care about these creatures anymore. And they don't want to see it in movies that much. And when the Jurassic World movies aren't quite as interesting as they used to be, when none of them really hit as much as 1 and 3 did, I guess people just kind of stop caring. I don't know. But a lot of this could very well just be conjecture on my part. Vaguely speaking of dinosaurs, vaguely extremely loosely related to dinosaurs, I might watch Avatar Fire and Ash later today, but I'm not particularly adamant on doing so. Did he just deflect me? Ooh, one hit him. I kinda want to get rid of the small fry first. Owie! Ah, frick. Alright, let's run on back. Alright. Ah, that's right. It'd be nice if the small fry could stick out more, but... Oh yeah, that's right, it's like a Souls-like. You gotta fight all the way, all the guys that you saw on the way. Okay, nope. Now we can... Yeah, I really gotta work on my stamina. Ah, knock it off! Ah! I wanted to target that other guy, but the reticle wouldn't cooperate. Okay, let's try it again. Okay. Beat them up. There. Not the quickest thing ever, but it worked. I could use the stamina. Gold points. There. That sounds good. Alpha Roar. Well, that does sound pretty useful. But if they're just pausing, I'm not sure what use I'd get out of that. It'd be helpful to get them off my back for a little bit, but if it's only a few seconds, I'm just prolonging the inevitable unless I can get rid of some of them. It'd be good for crowds, but with what I'm about to fight now, it might get a little hectic. But, I don't know. It might help to thin them out, at least, just to pause the incoming damage. Meteor Zone looks really interesting. Meteor Slice. I don't know, they look really cool. But I'll wait on it. Another thing I was thinking about Jurassic Park was that I remember a YouTube comment under the trailer for Rebirth once said that they always managed to drag kids into these movies. And I mean like in terms of the story. And that's very true. Oh, you're kidding me. Oh, does stamina not regenerate during battle or what? Small one. Okay. I got all of them. I'm just gonna wait for my stamina to recover before I go into the ring with that guy. But I've been rewatching some of these movies. Like, the kid characters are fine for me in the first three. World and onwards was, I think, when they wanted to make them a bit edgy. Rebirth was a bit of a return to form where the kid just acted like a kid, but the college students in Rebirth were kind of obnoxious. And I didn't really... I don't know. I definitely didn't like how it was in World, Fallen Kingdom, and Dominion, which were, you know, the three World movies. The first three of the World movies, and because they tried to give a bit of edge, some of them in World, to the older brother, but he just came off as really unlikable, and it just made for very unlikable characters, if you ask me. And I'm glad they had a bit of a return to form in Rebirth, because I don't know, the edge was just plain obnoxious. Like, knock it off. I don't like these characters as a result. I just don't. I'll elaborate that on that after this boss fight. Hang on. I need open space. Like, it just made those kids unlikable when they're like getting all smug and full of themselves, but then they end up getting into danger. That's not what I wanted. Oh. I need to deflect. There, that's better. But the thing is that, edgy or not, they always end up getting themselves into trouble, especially in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. The kid in those two movies, and they had the same younger character to fulfill the kid role in Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. She was like almost always getting herself into trouble. She was rebellious and making bad decisions, and like, you know, it's to be expected, but it makes it harder. It makes a character difficult to bear when they're both rude and edgy, but also not very good at a lot of things. And it just made for an unpleasant experience overall. Rest well. Man. I should probably talk more about Jurassic Park. Is that everything to say about the kid characters? I think it is. I don't know, I never really liked them that much. Oh, is that the little guy we saved? No, that might be the mom. Poor gal. Asay the Tyrant. Something I was thinking about this game's music is, as cool as it is... Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm not sure if it has much of an identity. It feels almost generic. But maybe that's just me? I don't know, it's cool, but I also feel like it's very difficult. It's going to be difficult to tell this apart from any other metal. But, I don't know, maybe it's just my lack of familiarity with the genre. I wonder if I can... No, I can't counter that one, because it's red. Oh, the poor thing. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be difficult. He's gonna be difficult to fight. Extinct. Rise again or leave? Let's try it again. Okay. We're gonna have to... I'm gonna have to lock in on these deflects. Oh, nope. Might have to slow down on the attack, too. Oh! Did see that one coming. Oh man, he soloed me. Well, some of like the little sticky drum instruments are pretty cool for this. Ah. Oh. These are hard to... His attacks come out really fast. Owie! I'm glad nobody's here to say, bro, it's easy. Like, no, it's not. I'm not good at this. Ah, frick. I keep expecting a flash there. No. I don't know if that can even be deflected. The staggering seems to help, but he's just maintaining distance. Nope. I gotta make use of regular blocking. But at the end of it all, the thing I need the most is reaction. Is to react well, and... just really struggling with that. Let me see if I can just quiet down and pay attention. Well, it was blocking there, so it's a step forward. I just need to memorize this animation. Oh. Ah, right. That one can't be blocked. Heal a bit. Oh, that one was good. At least I can block. Ooh. Oh man, that did no damage to him. Oh, first phase. Oh, the poor thing. Ooh. Oh. He just killed his own weapon. Like, oh my gosh. The brutality was crazy. Oh, don't do that. Oh, well. Somehow that one didn't land for him. I got it black. Oh no, I can't. You gotta wait for some stamina on him. You can't use the special attacks, yeah. Okay. I can't use my dash blast apparently. Owie! And he is no less brutal just because it's heavier. Oh. Well, landed that one. That tells me I can do it. Just gotta pay attention, lock in. But I need to heal already. Use it. Hurry, hurry! He really wanted to center arms on me. Oh, shit. I was not ready for that one. Yeah, there's some serious reaction time needed for these kinds of games. Which makes me wonder how people can just say, oh, it's easy. Just do it like Leviosa. I should make use of those more. And probably take a more defensive stance. At least I'm not taking damage from those. Oh my goodness, that attack would be a monster to deflect if you're trying for that. Heal. The cool thing is I can interrupt his attacks with my own strong. Alright, quick attacks for now. Oh boy, this is gonna be tough. Smash, smash, smash! Ooh, that was close. Okay, I can. The lock-on wasn't quite working. Ooh. Nope, no, heal. Oh boy. I gotta pay some serious type of attention here. Ooh. I don't know how I'm even gonna reach his third phase. I don't know how that one didn't hit, but okay. Let's just take it slow. I don't know what that yellow bar means, but that is kind of scary. Nope, that is all of my special meter gone. I know it's called a resonance, but I'm used to calling them special attack. Oh, nope, I let my guard down. I can't heal either, so I gotta make this count. Punish. Nope, I got greedy. Alright, play safe. Ooh. After I said play it safe, I made a risk like that. Nope. Block. And see if I can try to finish her. That was a waste, but hey, I'm not dead. Punish! Already got him. Knock him out with his own sword. Well, that went surprisingly well. I thought I was going to have to redo that more times. I didn't think I'd make that burst of progress. I thought it was going to be a lot more gradual than that, but apparently, no. Maybe I'm starting to learn my way around these things after all, a little faster than I expected. Which is surprising for me, because again, mind you, I'm very unfamiliar with Souls-likes. I didn't deflect there as often as I would have liked. I think that's going to be something that will be very important later in the game. But get there when I get there. Rest well, Tyrant. You weren't very nice, but you put up a good fight. Darn it! That's not what I intended to do! I accidentally put my finger on the trackpad. Oh, I don't have a save point. By breaking it? Oh, thank you. Oh. Ooh, it's a sword. Alright. That wasn't supposed to do that. Pick up? Thank you for playing. Oh my goodness. I was hoping I could at least get a cutscene of like the cool new sword I got, but that's that, I guess. That was Dinoblade. I could have just gone a few more. No, so I've been here for like 40 minutes, so like, not really. It would have been longer if I did this more last week, so I don't know, I guess it's fine. I would have liked to play around with my new sword, but no. Oh, well. Well, that was Dinoblade. A much shorter stream than I expected. And I almost wonder if maybe I should just put on another game. But I think I will, but it's going to be a separate stream. But I'm not sure if I should, because like, that's probably going to take me a lot more time. And I do want to catch a certain movie. Okay. Take a phone. What time is that movie going to start? It will start in over an hour from now. Ooh. Let's see if there's anything else. Continue. Oh. Oh, okay, no, you don't even get to fight the same boss again. Like, no, that's it. Oh, well. Let's see what's past here. A purple thing. Was there something there? Oh, okay, it's just rocks disappearing. Just some scuff. Which I really hope they iron out. Like, I know it's an indie game, so I'm expecting scuff. You know, that's understandable. Now, that might be the area I need to go to next, and they either have that blocked off for the sake of the demo, or you're meant to get over that somehow with the purple sword. on, you said thanks, Blink. Like, man, at least let me play around with the new sword. I guess he's not done with that, but still. So, to turn this into a just chatting stream. Partially to pad out some time, but also because I think it would be wrong of me not to talk about the game. I wonder what that jingling sound is. I guess it's supposed to be the sound of the sword? Like, I know medieval guys always jingle around because they got all their stuff clattering about, but this is just a sword I'm carrying. I'm thinking maybe it makes more sense if it's like rocks that you're kicking up. I don't really know. But since it's quiet and I kind of need some of that right now, and not, you know, the main theme drowning out my voice, what do I think about Dinoblade? And then I'll talk about Jurassic Park because I rewatched that earlier today before the stream. I think Dinoblade is good. There's a good game here. And you don't have to look very hard for it. It's right in front of you. But it's a very scuffed game, too. It's like a burger that's very greasy and sloppy and messy looking. But if you just take a bite, it's really good. And it even looks good on the surface. It looks like a real burger patty and not, you know, the mysterious pink slime that... Hang on, let me get my Ozolane stuff going. Not the mysterious pink slime that McDonald's likes to use. I wonder if I want to really go watch Avatar after all. I just finished watching Jurassic Park earlier, but like, do I want to watch two movies? There's a good game here. I think it's a lot of fun. Even though I'm not really into Souls-like, they do... So far, I am kind of feeling some of that challenge. And it's not... How should I say this? It doesn't feel like it's too excessive either. The bosses feel, you know, like bosses, but they're not so excessively punishing to the point where it makes me want to put down the game. And to the point where it makes it feel unfair. It just feels like you have to keep your guard up. They're stronger than you. They're definitely stronger. But they're not faster. Their attacks don't come out instantly. You're not helpless against them. Paired with the fact that you can cancel your various animations with dodges. And I think this game's really good at making you feel like you have that kind of power, like you have that kind of ability, you know. Where's my hoodie up? Okay, there it is. It just disappears based on the angle you see it. Just, I guess because of how my modeler did that. I've never noticed that until now. But also because of how I position it. Let's see. Yeah, paired with the fact that you can dodge cancel, and it makes everything feel really good, feel right. You don't feel completely helpless in any which way. It feels like, you know, you have that kind of power necessary, and this is kind of just me repeating a lot of the things I've said on the last stream of this game. But I like how it doesn't feel like it takes any power out of your hands. And no offense to my friend who had me try a few Souls-likes, but that was kind of my gripe with some of the few that I did play. With I think maybe the exception of Sekiro, is that it just sometimes feels like you're fighting the game and the boss at the same time. Elden Ring, I remember, definitely did this, and, admittedly, it's because I was using his heavy weapons, because, it wasn't my copy of the game. He was just letting me try out his for a little bit and showing me it. But it felt like you couldn't do much. Once you had an attack, you had to commit to it and hope for the best, and it felt like there was almost a part of prediction and guessing. I suppose for some it's fine for that kind of game that I think Arlo once described as like a moving turn-based RPG. It's still slow. There's practically a turn-taking element, and you have to really think through your actions in real time. But it's slow enough for you to have the ability to think in the first place. I think for that kind of game, it's probably fine, but it's not something I liked because it didn't feel to me like I was taking turns. Maybe just because I wasn't fighting bosses, but it felt more to me like I was fighting the game. Like I said, it was clunky, it was slow, it was frustrating, and it felt like I didn't have as much control as I should because my character could be stopped so easily by so many different things, and any one thing I wanted to do was just negated by the game's, I guess, lack of fluidity, the game's rigidity. This doesn't have that. It feels a lot more, fluid and straightforward. Like, from that one little thing, I can attack, dodge cancel. I can strong attack, dodge cancel. Sometimes even before it's come out. Sometimes right after the attack has come out. Like, I can just cancel anything I want. And heck, I can even hold on to my sword slash. Well, unless it's that one, but... yeah, I can't hold on to my sword slash if I wanted to. Which I didn't know that. Yeah, I can hold on to it for as long as I want. Which is a pretty clever thing to add into the game, and I like that. It feels like there's just such a high amount of control here that I really would not have expected out of a game that has you playing as a dinosaur. If I expected any game to have me playing as something clunky and slow, just lumbering around, and have me practically fighting the game, it would have been the game that has me play as these creatures that are, well, actually pretty fast, but lumber around, not... I didn't think I would be able to, cancel animations. I didn't think I'd be able to cancel animations like that. Like, that's not an option I ever would have expected from this. The fact that you're offered that goes a very, 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 very long way for me, and I can see a lot of people having a problem with that. I would kind of get it. It's a little contrary to to my very extremely rudimentary understanding of Souls-likes are and are supposed to be. But for me, I personally really like it, because like I said, it makes me feel like I'm the one in control. It makes me feel like I have the tools necessary to tackle the challenges ahead of me, and nothing is stacked unfairly against me. I am not fighting the game. At no point do I feel like the game has punished me, or am I forced to change mentality too drastically to come to the conclusion that I made the wrong decision, and so the game has punished me for it by removing my control for a second. A very nerve-wracking and possibly fatal second. It doesn't feel like it's a problem here. Yeah, sure, the game is still hard. The game is difficult, and there's no getting around that. But through skill. The only way to it is through it, but it makes me feel like I can get through it if I, try hard enough. If I know what I'm doing, if I react hard enough, and quickly enough. It feels very merciful. Also unrelated, but man, I want to like liner locks on pocket knives, but I don't know. It'd be nice if they didn't require you to like pull so hard. I guess that's why button locks are pretty good. I should look for one with a button lock. That sounds like it'd be a lot more comfortable. Not as manual, but it'd be nice. Easier on my fingertips instead of digging them into my just newly cut fingernails. But anyway, so in terms of control, I think the control in Dinoblade is really, really good. And I know I should probably do more stuff here, but I kind of don't want to. I want to be able to focus and collect my thoughts. Despite those earlier sidetracks. The control, I think, is easily one of my favorite things about this game. Because I just like feeling in control. I like knowing that the things I do are very deliberate. That I can do them whenever I want. However I want. Even if it's just for the dodge roll. Let's see if I can do this for the other attacks. But even if it's just for the dodge roll, it goes a long way. Okay, so I can't cancel into blocks. I'm pushing left bumper and I can't cancel into blocks. But that's fine, In a way, I think that's okay. It still gives you some of that decision-making element those likes are supposed to have. But it balances out. It doesn't remove everything. So if you want to play as like a dodger style, you still can. That sword looks so cool and I want it. So I really like that about this game. The music is, I'm iffy on that. I'm not as much of a music guy as I sometimes act or sound like. Like, I don't even know proper music terminology. I just know if a song sounds good to me and why I like it. And repeating something I said earlier, I do feel like this game is maybe lacking in identity regarding the music. It sounds cool. The metal sounds really great, but I feel like, except for maybe the introduction to certain songs, which have this like little light drum thingy, like, in case you needed further proof, I'm not a big music guy. I don't even know what those instruments were at the beginning of, what was it, Kali's theme? At the beginning of Tyrant's theme. But those were pretty good. That makes me think of bones. It makes me think of like prehistoric stuff. And that's that's the kind of instrument you sometimes hear in songs like related to dinosaurs in some way, like in a movie or a cartoon. That stuff is, good. I think it's good to have more of that. And I'd probably have to revisit the soundtrack again. But there was very little that I can recall off the top of my head, except for the main theme, and really even the main theme, that makes me think of a song explicitly from Dinoblade. That makes me feel like, without a doubt, if I heard that song anywhere, I would associate that with Dinoblade, unless I already heard it, or because I might mistake it for another song. I feel like that's a possibility. That's kind of a funny animation. It's nice to know I can block in midair. But, yeah, there's very little that makes me think of stuff that would explicitly be from Dinoblade. I feel like I could very easily mistake some of these songs for other songs, but that might just be me personally. Graphically, I think this game's scuffed. I don't mind the realism. That makes sense for this. Yeah, you can make them... put these dinosaurs in like a cartoon style or an anime style. That's up to the developer. It's not me. It's not my decision. And so long as the dinosaurs look like dinosaurs and it fits the tone of the story, which I'll discuss in a bit, then I'm fine with it. But realism, I think, just kind of works, and in the context of dinosaurs and making them look cool in an environment that has as many... Oh, my controller got suspended. My controller's battery ran out. And that seems to have these little tidbits of a very dark and very... How should I say this? I guess ruthless lore and world... and rules in its world. A realistic style makes perfect sense. Anything else would not. Unless it was also, as rigid and detailed. If the anime style was as rigid and detailed. If the cartoon style was really sharp and aggressive. I don't have a problem with the realism, but it does almost feel like it maybe kind of gives off some hire this man type vibes. In the sense that a lot of these things just look like Unity assets. As if these rocks weren't, Dinoblade rocks. They were just any stock rocks that you could find on a Unity website. Well, on a website for Unity assets. So that's neither here nor there. I don't know if I'd even say it's a problem, but it's something I've been thinking of. But I can't really fault it, especially when that's kind of the norm with video games a lot. They just really like their realistic art styles. For better or for worse. I personally don't like it at all. Ooh, yes. Give me that little... And the Steam controller's trackpad. Ooh, I cannot wait for the Steam controller too. Well, so I say, just because I like the Steam controller, but then I remember, oh yeah, it has two trackpads now. Well, just like before, but they're both square, and the tilting is a good idea, but they lower it, and I don't know if I'm gonna like the sound of that, but we'll have to try it. I'll definitely be ordering one, just because I like the Steam controller so much anyway. A lot of these rocks, they don't look like, they don't feel like they stick out or anything. They just feel like generic rocks. that made for the rigid, rather like square-ish texture. Not textures, but rather shapes of them. They look like they could be unique to this area and maybe even this game, so I'll give that credit where it's due, but I don't know. I mean, I also shouldn't be discussing rocks and criticizing them, because at the end of the day, a rock is a rock. That's hardly the thing that you associate with anything. Nobody's asking you, do you know what this rock is from, and expecting you to realize that it was from Resident Evil or Mario or Sonic or something, because it's a rock. But it's just, I feel like some of the stuff in some of the environments in this game, maybe not the environments, but the assets look a little generic, but I don't know. In the end of the day, I'm just discussing stuff. Grass and rocks and dirt. It's not the stuff that doesn't matter. It does matter, but I guess it doesn't really warrant discussion. What does warrant discussion is stuff like this, and these are the things that stick out more. Like this glowing sword that's supposedly the blade, but made of stone. These environments, these vast reaching mountains, celestial bodies off in the distance, sometimes multiple. I wonder what these blocks are. That I don't think is Unity stuff. I think that's intentional. But I do kind of still feel like the rocks are worth discussing, because a lot of this area was just rock, and if it wasn't for the clear-cut pathways, which I think the developer did a good job on, I feel like it would be a little easy to, I don't know, get yourself lost in these. Like, there's not enough, I think, significant landmarks beyond just rocks. Maybe it's just me. I can kind of find my way around these. Like, they do a good job at having specific landmarks with what they use, but I also wonder if maybe they just could have had more to work, given themselves more to work with instead of just rocks. Like, I know this is the canyon area, but even so, a little bit of extra decoration would have been nice. But the environments are all kind of interesting once it leaves the realm of rocks. Like the white grass looks cool, the red plants. Like the swords especially. This one looks like it's almost got veins in it. I like that a lot. The sword, the basic sword that you get is pretty, well, basic, and I think it could do more to look a little more unique, but I see what they're going for, and they want these weapons to look very rudimentary and simple and straightforward, because these aren't handcrafted weapons made by, actual blacksmiths. These are whatever a bunch of dinosaurs could find laying around that looks like it could be swung. So, I don't know, I guess I'm a little mixed. It looks a little too basic, but I'm just putting some texture effects, like, well, maybe not texture effects, particle effects, like, this fire, that electricity, it goes a long way, but I think even just a little bit of extra detailing, like what seems to resemble veins on that sword, helps it a lot. Giving it a more unique shape helps a lot. It sticks out more than this sword, which looks cool, but I think could have just a little bit more. Just a teeny tiny bit. And I'd like them to kind of, embetter the particles, really just for the fire sword. The electric sword looks fine to me, but for the fire sword especially, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I guess it looks fine, but it looks a little too lacking. Like, there's not enough fire on it. You just kind of vaguely know it's coming from the area between the handle and the blade, where the blade starts, but it doesn't envelop the full sword. I don't know. This isn't really a review, this is just me yapping about the game to pad out time, but... That's what I think about these. I kind of like what they do with these dinosaur designs, too. The Spinosaurus looks like a Spinosaurus, but he's got red all over him. It helps just a little bit to give him some extra cool, like some extra edge to make him look kind of cool. And when viewed from behind, from the front, the tail almost seems to resemble a cape. Or act like it's supposed to fulfill that role of some kind of trailing accessory. But he doesn't look too aggressive like some of the other villains, like, the T-Rexes we saw, the Tyrant we saw earlier, which had hair, and some of the stuff you see in the loading screens where, the Triceratops had all kinds of horns and spikes all over it. And the Velociraptors, too. They had unnaturally colored eyes. They keep it very simple with the Spinosaurus. And it makes sense, and I think that all of this stuff kind of works to help the bosses stick out from the common rabble. Like, from the grunt enemies. And speaking of, I feel like the grunt enemies can maybe be a little more apparent. Because you see them, and their glowing weapons does a lot to make them visible, but they're just a teeny tiny bit too small. I don't know, just embiggen them maybe a little bit. Or, I don't know, do something more, maybe have their weapons glow just a little bit more. Or embiggen their weapons also. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of leaving the realm of a proper review and just entering the realm of, I guess, personal nitpicks, which is something I try to avoid if I'm going to review anything. But like I said, I'm just kind of padding out playtime. Through all my complaints, this doesn't mean I'm unhappy with the game. I'm actually very satisfied with it. Like, it's very unique in this being a Souls-like featuring dinosaurs. It's extremely unique in that regard. And I think the only way that would be its identity would be taken away and mistaken for others is if the industry, for any which reason, just stopped with all the shooters and just stopped with all the space themes and decided it needed yet more Souls-likes, but this time featuring dinosaurs. But I don't think the industry is exactly cool and interesting enough to do. Well, it would. They'll throw money at the wall for it, but that depends on how much big of a splash this game makes. And while it's certainly possible, indie games have done so before, I don't know if this one would. I would like it to be very successful. I just don't want there to be a lot of copycats muddying the waters, But this game does have a very solid premise that I think carries it extremely far, because dinosaurs are just a tad out there. If you sprinkle them into anything, it's going to be very unusual, and it's going to stand out, and sometimes not always for the best. But even if that's the case, it's going to make it look really, really cool. And so this game, not only being about dinosaurs, but having this, like, almost anime physics. Just like all these anime moves you can do. It takes it a very, very long way in making it as cool as possible, while also recognizable, because again, how many Souls-likes do you know that have dinosaurs and how many of pieces of media have dinosaurs doing this like multi-slash thing, you know? Probably not very many, unless we're talking about anime, in which case you can count at least a few, because anime is so varied that I wouldn't be surprised if they'd done it before, but, you know, still, there's not a lot of that out there. So I think it has a very strong identity, and I can tell it's trying very hard to dedicate itself to that. Again, the weapons look very plain, like just random metal objects that any dinosaur picks up just lying around. The environments look harsh and cruel and uncaring. What little bits of story you get are, I would say, definitely within the realm of masculinity, sure. But, like, very aggressive, very harsh. And it all gives this very unique identity to Dinoblade as a series that's all about whatever is as metal as possible. And I like that they're leaning into it as hard as they are, even if it sometimes means that there are things I don't like about it. You know, again, like the weapons being a little bit too plain. But as for the story, right, I was gonna talk about that. I think they could do more with the story. I think I kind of get it. For the most part, it really just feels like you're a Spinosaurus trying to survive. But I think they could do more. I don't know, just have some bit of a story. Because, like, you pick up... The game starts with you picking up what appears to be a cursed sword. A sword with, I don't know, somebody's spirit bound to it. As you have a vision and someone tells you, pick up the sword. So, I struggle to think that that's for nothing. I mean, it even mentions there's some kind of forgotten king. I'd like there to be more story than just these little dialogue bits that almost feel like flavor text, and I want them to do something with that, so I hope that they will. Like, just maybe a cutscene or two somewhere beyond just, look at this dinosaur, he's so scary and cool. Like, that's cool. Don't take that away. Keep that there. I like it. It's just, you know, add on to that. Give me, like, I think I see what you're doing, but give me more of it. To quote a 4chan post, sell it harder. That's what I want. Let's see, what else was I going to discuss? What's another thing I was going to discuss? But I think I just about got to all of it. Yeah, I guess that was it. Overall, I think Dinoblade is a really good game, and I would like to say. And I kind of wanted to do this with Maitreya, but for some reason I forgot. But maybe it's for the best, because the title music probably would have drowned out my voice anyway. Because I did not tune my audio for that game as well as I should have. But overall, Dinoblade I think is a really interesting game. It's a very good one, very unique. If you like Souls-likes, I can't recommend it enough. I'd like, you know, definitely take it for what it's worth with a grain of salt and all that, from the perspective of somebody who doesn't normally play these. You know, take it with a grain of salt. But I personally would recommend it. I think it's a good game. You know, again, it's scuffed and right now I remember the graphical and visual stuff. But that's, and yeah, there's all this like indie game stuff. You're gonna get that from any indie game, but that depends on your tolerance for it. Hopefully, most people won't mind, but I can see them having a problem with, say, like the fact that right now you can see your character's legs clip into the ground. You can see them clip into the rocks. Is it much of an issue? Probably not. But it's a bit... well, it's not a very good look. The way you can get close enough to fog and see this just a layer, and that's probably normal for games anyway, but you can see this, that it's just some kind of layer you can pass through that's meant to be reacting to you in some way, shape, or form. Kind of like how sometimes fire is represented by a flat 2D texture. You can kind of see where it's acting this way, where it's fixated on and then swiveling, rotating around from. And then there's all the stuff popping in, and sometimes you can see textures still rendering even after the game's done loading. I definitely think that can be ironed out. Well, I don't know if it can, I'm sure it's possible, but I definitely think it should be ironed out, because it's really not a very good look. Oh, darn it, I did it again. I can see, I myself, I think I can tolerate it, but I don't see many other people doing so, because if there's one thing I've known gamers to do, it's complain, and sometimes even if it's not a good reason. It doesn't matter what it is. If there's a scratch in a game, they're gonna make a mountain out of a molehill from it. And I wouldn't be surprised if people are gonna do this, and maybe, for indie games they'll be more understanding, I would hope, but I've also known them to be kind of harsh, even to indie games. They can be developed by one person, but if the graphics look bad, and they're not pixels which somehow get a pass, then people will call it the worst game ever, even when it's, a very far cry from it, like what they do with, like if you've ever seen a review for, say, Dragon Audit, very small development team for that, very small game. Graphics look horrible, awful, very rudimentary and ugly. But there's a game there, and it's a fun one. And I think it excels in many of its other aspects. At least in the main aspects that it's trying to do, that it's trying to serve you on, it's doing a good job at it. But nevertheless, people would still call it a bad game and not view it as the sum of its parts, but rather almost as if it's defined by its graphics. And with Dinoblade, I can kind of see that being the case, and I don't want that to. I don't want people to see pop-in and rotating fog textures and rendering textures during a cutscene and say, oh, it's a bad game, it's irredeemable, the worst I've ever played, 0 out of 10. Yeah, sure, that's not something that should be acceptable, but it doesn't make it an awful game. But I don't want people to say that it is when that couldn't be further from the truth. So that's something I hope gets ironed out, because I don't want this game to be skewered by the wider gaming. By gamers everywhere. I don't want to call it a community, because let's be honest, it's more like a ghetto. And it's way too big to be called a community. I think people should stop calling wide, large, hobbies and racial demographics and just anything communities. Like when people say the black community, like, what do you mean a black community? There's black people everywhere. That's not a community. Community is too small of a word. It's too small of a description for something as large as the black population in the world, or even just America. The gaming community. Like, there's gamers everywhere around the world that have access to, like, at least that have access to that. That's not a community. Community is not a fitting word. It's an understatement. The same thing for VTuber community, your anime community, your car community. Like, words have certain contexts in which they should be used, and that is not one of them. But anyway, I digress. But I don't want this game to be torn apart by, gamers all over the internet, because, again, there's a good game here. There's a really good game here, and you don't have to look that far for it. It's a lot of fun. It looks cool. It sounds cool. It feels cool. So I just want people to, like, really be nice to it. And I just, as in general, I want people to be nice to indie games, because I think they deserve it. They were developed by very small people that end up, by very small numbers of people that end up seeing very small amounts of financial returns on what they did, to such an extent that developing games and selling them on Steam has been described as a hobby for how much of the money gets taken away by taxes. I really think they deserve a little bit of kindness for trying to shed some light on this just dying, dark wasteland that some people would describe gaming as. Like, they're so quick to say, oh, it's awful, we need a new Crash now, because AAA games suck. And indie games are trying to make things better, or at least I can tell they're trying to make things better, in whatever way they think better is. I think they deserve a little bit of kindness, It's like people at a restaurant, or dare I say almost a soup kitchen. They're trying to provide food. I don't think it would hurt to be a little nicer to them. I get it, Constructive criticism is good. I understand all that, but I don't think it would hurt to just be a bit nicer instead of biting the hand that feeds you, or the hands that are trying to feed you. But again, I digress, because this is just my chatting section of the stream. But I think indie games deserve a little bit of kindness. I think that's more or less about it. I'm not sure what I would rate this as. I'd rate, like, I don't want to say 7 out of 10, because I know I don't know if it's still around, but there's like a bit of a negative sentiment around rating games 7 out of 10, because some people don't like it, but some people will still tell you that makes sense because it means the game was good, but then it gets used so much that 7 doesn't feel like a lot, and it's a whole big thing. But I don't know, I think this is a good game. It's scuffed short, and you're gonna have to have, I think, a certain level of patience with not just this game, but indie games as a whole. It's like music bands. When you listen, like indie music bands, you're gonna have to be okay with the fact that it really sounds like they recorded it in their garage, because that's literally all the only semblance of a studio some of these people have access to. And with this, you're gonna have to be okay with some scuff, because they're made by John, the guy at Walmart, who's just doing his best with what he's got. Not, Satoshi game developer sama. Game developer son. A 30 years of experience, ex-employee at all of these big different game companies, then just is a computer wizard. Like, that's not these people. And they don't have access to the same resources. But nevertheless, or even the same time, they're not paid to do it 8 hours a day. They are doing it for free in their mom's basement after work, or in their own bedroom after work, and they can only chip away at it like an hour a day. I think they deserve a little kindness. But anyway, I digress again. Good game. Highly recommend it. If you like Souls-likes, get it. If you like dinosaurs, try it. The demo was free. I mean, I think that's all that needs to be said. I think the rest of the stream kind of the game sort of spoke for itself throughout the rest of the stream. So yeah, just kind of try it. If you wanted something as masculine as Warhammer, but decided you wanted something a little cooler than that, a little less human focused, here you go. Try this one. And I think you'll like it a lot. I really liked it a lot. I was going to talk about Jurassic Park, but I don't feel like it anymore because I yapped a lot and I'm tired. And I want to get ready for the movie that I'm going to watch. Even though I was told it's kind of action slop. I was going to watch Avatar Fire and Ash, and my friend who watched it told me it's action slop. And like, but I kind of like action slop, but at the same time, ooh, that movie's like 3 hours. I just watched that new Kevin James romance, Solo Mio. Instead, since I've had my eyes on it, I've never seen Kevin James in a romance. So, maybe I'll watch it instead. Kevin James seems like a good lad. Maybe, I don't know. My friend liked it, but he's also not expecting me to. He's not. Oh! I almost dropped my controller. He's not expecting me to. I feel like I should, even though I kind of don't want to. But like, I'm gonna be thinking about it. I'm gonna be dwelling on it, because I don't know, man. I'm not new to watching movies, but 3 hours is a big ask. Very big ask for me, personally. I really might get a button lock knife instead of a liner lock one, because liner locks are cool, they're handy, but I don't know. I have to pull a little too hard. I don't like it that much. Or you can flick it out, but I don't know, it's not so bad, but whatever. I'm just kind of yapping. I miss having people to talk to. Oh, I should do a collab one of these days. Maybe I'll get a fan base, but I don't know. Not a lot of people really want to watch a guy stream a game with a big titty anime model, because it makes them uncomfortable. They're on the internet. They want it to be comfortable all the time, even though that's not how it ever worked at all. But, good luck convincing anyone else of that. I don't know. Maybe I should expand my community and network a little bit. But I don't know. The VTuber space is pretty toxic. There's a lot of mean girls out there, and I don't want to deal with all that. And I definitely don't want to deal with it on Twitter, because I've seen where that ends up. I don't like it. So, I don't know. That's just me. Also, I don't want to deal with the expectations of having a fan base. I don't want to be the VTuber that says, "Sorry, you guys, I couldn't stream today. Tummy hurt." And you have to write a whole big apology letter. But then nobody expects it of you. But you're expecting that of yourself, and then you do it too much, and then it becomes a problem. It's lonely this way, but man, is it easy. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today, for tonight's stream, and for tonight's yap session. Sure, save games, all that matters. But yeah, thank you to anybody rewatching the VOD. Or anybody who was lurking. Hope you all enjoyed watching Dinoblade. Also, that logo, get rid of that black square, please. Oh yeah, and the enemies moving during the pause screen. No, that should be unacceptable. I know that some Souls-likes kind of do that now, and it's okay because there won't be enemies showing up randomly out of nowhere all the time, unless, like, when they're there, and if they're gone, they're gone. They don't wander onto your area. They just kind of stand around all day. But I don't think that's a good look. Please do that. Like, I don't get why I can pause the game, suspend my particle effects and my character, but the enemies are somehow immune to all that and just keep moving. That makes literally 0 sense. Please fix that. That's ridiculous. It takes me out of the game so fast. But anyway. Again, scuff. But I do want that scuff to be fixed. But that's going to be it for tonight's stream. We're going to quit to title screen. Thank you to anybody who watched the prior stream, or the VOD for it, or this VOD. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Tomorrow's stream, I don't know what that's going to be, but I think I'm finally going to get around to streaming, what's it called? It's a Kaiju game. Called oh goodness gracious, it's this game, not kaijus. Yeah, it's Gigabash. So tomorrow's stream is probably going to be the Gigabash demo. Gonna explore that, because Gigabash is a game I've been meaning to stream for a long time, but never really did get around to. And eventually I'll finish Greyhaven. Kinda don't wanna, because I've been getting bored of Greyhaven, but we'll get to that probably next week. Or one of like the obscure indie games I have. But that's gonna be it. It's probably going to be Gigabash. But without, like I said, that's gonna be it for tonight's stream. Thank you all so much for coming along, and I hope any of you enjoyed. And Big Sister, have a good night. Yes, me.